Hey friends, I thought that it would be fun for me to come and give you a little talk through of how I made these fall watercolor pieces. This is what I used to make stickers for my Etsy shop, and I thought that it would just be a fun way for you to see my process. So the first thing that you do is you sketch what you're gonna make. I like to use references from the internet. I don't copy anything exactly, I just use it for shape and inspiration. So what I do first is do a wash of a super light color. This is the lightest yellow that I have. I have the names all down in the description below. I don't want to attempt to try and even pretend like I could pronounce these things. So then I have the next yellow that I have, and with a super wet brush I go ahead and do another wash, and then I add some more in the bottom leaf. And then you can see, because the paper is still super wet, I go ahead and really quickly make an orange using my dark yellow and my red, and I just gently on the corners of each leaf add that orange color in. Then I make a little bit darker of an orange and I do the same thing. And this is all about layering. Layer, 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 layer. And then if you notice that your paper is starting to dry out or you need it to bleed out a little bit more, you can just go ahead and add a little bit more water, and then those colors will all start to work their way into each other. You want to make sure that you're moving the water down, or else you'll get this kind of weird awkward line, and you want to try and not go out of the lines in this process either. So I'm just adding some more darker values to gain some contrast, because we all know what fall leaves look like. They have a lot of color variation in them. I'm making some browns using some dark green and some kind of huntery green that I have with the red, because those are opposite colors on the color wheel. I don't have a ton of colors that I'm working with in this palette, and I like that because it allows me to see what the paints can do, and also that's kind of the fun in watercolor, is to see how the paints react to each other. So you can really get away with a lot with only having 7 colors. That's all the colors that I have, and I'm still building up my supplies, but you can make every color with these colors. So now I'm just sketching out some more things that I'm going to want to turn into stickers. We have the acorn, of course a pumpkin, you can't have fall without a pumpkin, and another leaf. And I decided that whenever you have autumn colors, there's always like this branch that you see that has like a branch with like little pops of color on it. I don't know what it's called. I don't know if this is even what it looks like in real life, but it's what I decided as a part of my fall decor, if you will. So yeah, I needed to move my pumpkin. I draw with a size H. I don't know if it's called size. A size H pencil. It is a very hard lead, and it makes it so that when I erase, you don't see lines. But I also am trying to stay within the lines of the pencil mark. So you can see here that I was attempting to add some texture to these acorns, and that wasn't working out, and so I decided to erase it. You know how you erase with watercolor? You add water. It's so cool. I can show you how to cover up mistakes and stuff in a later video if you're interested. You can see that I kind of gave up on it, and then I kind of wanted to see how the colors would work together. So I let them spread, let it dry, and then erased the lines on that one. So here I am just making some more brown. And then I know that I'm going to need some orange for the pumpkin. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up 2 shades using my lightest yellow and red and my darker yellow and red. And those are going to give me the orange values that I need for this piece. And you want to try and make as much of the color as you think that you're going to need for the entire piece, because it can be a little difficult to recreate the exact shade that you're making, and so I have run into issues with that. So try and err on the side of more than not enough. Then I make a super dark brown using my Prussian blue and the orange that I just made, and then I'm using that as a detail to add the little veins into my leaf. In retrospect, I think I would not have added so many veins. I probably would have just done 2 layers and not added the third. That looks a little crowded, as you can see. Luckily, the stickers I was making, you couldn't tell because they were scaled so small down, but if I were gonna showcase this as an art piece, I probably would need to do a little bit of reworking, so it didn't look so crowded. Then for the other leaf, I am just adding the deeper shade of yellow that I have with a lot of water, and then adding even more water on top of that to sort of spread everything around. I am putting orange on one corner and tilting the paper so that the water can make the paint move. The paint's not going to move outside of the area that is wet. And then I'm going to add green on the other side and have those colors kind of blend together and not meet in the middle because we have the yellow in the middle, but interact with the yellow. So you can see how all of those colors move together. Then for the pumpkin, we're going to have to work in sections, because if you have a wet piece touching another wet piece, then those wet pieces will bleed together. So we're going to work on one side of the pumpkin, then we're going to work on the other side of the pumpkin, and then the middle. And then while that's drying, we're going to work on a separate piece. So here you're doing the same thing. You just do a wash of a light color and then add the other colors that you want to add. And then, like I said, we're waiting for that to dry. Now we're working on our branch. You want to make sure that when you're adding colors, you are adding colors that are complementary, so they are next to each other on the color wheel. And what that means is, like, blue and yellow go together because they make green, so those three can be in the same family, but green and blue and red is a little bit more difficult, because if the green and the red mix together, then that makes brown, and that's not so pretty. So you just want to think about things like that on a little bit more abstract pieces, so your piece doesn't turn into a blobby mess. If you want more information on the color wheel, sure, there's a ton of videos on YouTube already, but if you want me to go into what I know about it, definitely let me know, and I would be more than happy to talk about all things color and even show you how the different things work together when it comes to watercolor. So here I am just sort of using my imagination, because I don't really have a reference for what this looks like, and I decided that it would be fun to contrast all of the warm colors that we have going on, to add a little blue for some cool tones. Then I go ahead and add the detail in the other leaf, and then I finish off my pumpkin. Again, just adding that yellow and then orange. And then I want you to know that when I am making the stump, I do it intentionally and make sure that I am still working when everything is wet, because when I add that brown, I kind of want it to bleed into the pumpkin, because I think it looks kind of cool. and then the same thing for the little loop-de-loop. So guys, I hope that was informative. If it inspires you to paint something, definitely let me know, and I can't wait to come out with more videos like this for you.